Hello and welcome to my craft room. My name's Dawn and I'm making videos as I work through the many projects that I've purchased over the years in the hope that I'll be able to tidy this craft room. This week we attended the Carry On Crafting Festival in Haywards Heath. It was a really hot day. The festival is in a field, but we had a really good time. There was 5 of us that went. We only had a day ticket. You can camp for the whole weekend, but we just went for the day. And because of that, we didn't book any workshops. And I think we probably would have got more out of it if we had booked workshops. But one that I was particularly interested in doing was 10 till 1:30, and that would have taken up nearly all the time that we were there. So we didn't do any workshops. Um, but here is a taste of our day. We basically browsed, shopped, and looked at inspirational things. And once I've shown you these small bits, then I will confess to what I purchased. So the first thing I bought was this pattern by Sam Sabido for a cardigan, like the little daisies on the top. And this I didn't buy the yarn for because I've got some already, and I think I've got enough to make this. So although I spent money, it's going to make me use up some of the yarn that I've got. So that was the first thing I bought. And then I bought 2 little kits for new techniques which I haven't done before. The first one is camphor, which is a traditional technique that uses a running stitch, and it's a little bee. And on the store, this was made up into a project bag. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to put this, embroider this onto a piece of material and then make the material into a bag. So, and I had to have that because it's a bee and I got a thing about bees. And then the next thing I bought was, I think they pronounce it Karandi. Basically, it's using up scraps. So you have a large piece of backing material, you're wadding, and then you stitch from the outside into the middle and you hold it all together with running stitches. So this was the workshop that I would have liked to have done, but it was too long. So I bought the little kit and I thought that would be a way of trying to have a go with it. It makes a pin cushion, so in the pin needle case. So in the kit I've got the felt that will go in when it's finished. I've got the backing, it's a little red square, and I've got the wadding, and then I just have some scraps. One of these is really cute, it's little Russian dolls. So I thought I'd give this a go and see how that works. But my plan is to use this technique to make, to use up some of the scraps that I've got And then on the stall they had like wall hangings and lap quilts and bed quilts, and somebody had actually made a bag out of it. So I thought, that's what I think I'm going to do, make a bag, make it like a tote bag out of it, and use up those scraps that are too big to throw away but too small to do anything really with. So I bought that as well. So they're two new techniques. The Kurandi is a traditional Indian stitching technique. So yeah, I thought I'd give them both a go. And with this hot weather, it's easier to do some hand stitching because I can do that downstairs. So I bought those, and here comes the confession. So I have been seeing the new Tilda something blue fabric range, and something about this fabric range has really called out to me, and I don't know what it is, but I just really like it. Blue isn't a colour that I would generally go for, but I think it reminds me of the pottery that you get in Rotterdam. We went to Rotterdam for a weekend a couple of years ago, and it was so pretty, and yeah, it just really said something to me. So this store had something blue, and instead of, as I've done in the past where I've seen it, given it a little stroke and then walked away, I didn't walk away this time. I think it may have had something to do with Tina whispering in my ear, go on, go on, go on. But I ended up buying it, and I have bought a fat quarter pack. So there's 19 fat quarters in this, and there's one fat quarter for every design in the range. If I just slip this off, and I can show you some of them, like this one, really pretty, and they do a blue version of it as well. And then there's some that remind me of the pottery, that one. So yeah, but I do, oh, that one, like the pottery as well. I do have a plan for it because I want to use it in a whole project, not take a bit here and there. And on the wall they had an Ohio star quilt done in Tilda Songbird, I think it was, and I could just see this fabric range in that quilt, the quilt done in this range. So I'll put a picture of the quilt up in the corner, but that is what I'm planning on doing with this fat quarter bundle. And then here comes the confession. I have been looking at the new Tilda something blue range, and something about this range just calls out to me, and I really love it. When we went to Rotterdam a couple of years ago, I saw a lot of their blue and white pottery, which I also really loved. So yeah, this kind of reminds me of that pottery. It's like, because what I've done is I've bought a fat quarter pack, so it's 19 fat quarters, one of every pattern in the range. I just don't know, there's just something about this. And on the stand they had, not done in this range but in one of the other Tilda ranges, I think it might have been Songbird, they had an Ohio star quilt, and I could just see that quilt made with these fabrics. So that's my plan. I've been onto YouTube, I found a tutorial, I found a graphic that tells you how big you need to cut your fabric for certain size blocks, and so that's what I'm going to do. And I think I'm going to try and do it as a quilt as you go, because that's just a bit more manageable than a large quilt on a domestic machine, especially as I'm on my little machine at the moment because my big one needs to go in for service. So this was my confession, but I have had my eye on it a long time, and I think part of it on Sunday was my sister-in-law in my ear going, go on, go on, go on. So I weakened and I bought it. So that's everything from me this week. We did have a lovely time, the 5 of us. And really, we didn't spend too much money. Well, maybe I did till I didn't till I got to this store. But in the meantime, happy stitching. If you've liked this video, please give it a like and a subscribe. I'll be back next week. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, the details are at the end of the video. So have a good week stitching. If you're in the UK, try and keep cool in this heat wave, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.